part two, only to have one of them cashed in on by Seth Rollins, who could end up walking out with the title. And even any of those kind of scenarios devalues your championship, because the championships they're going to be more focused on and show more importance are the two championships that people have complained about. And the only reason you're finally going to do something about it is because you're putting it on your two most over guys in the company. And that, even though that might be a good thing in the eyes of some, it's a bad thing, because you're pretty much saying, you know what? We made a mistake with Roman Reigns putting the belt on him. We made a mistake by having Lesnar as a champion. Yeah, we're trying to make up for it by putting a guy like Seth Rollins as the champion now. But guess what? That's probably not going to work. So guess what we got to do? We got to rely on making the United States and Intercontinental Championships more important than our freaking facial championship. And instead of doing the right thing and at least allowing Daniel to have a rematch against Roman, maybe on Raw, getting him to win that match, thus inserting him into the main event Mania along with Roman and Brock, which probably would have been the more better thing to do. You're going to put him in a ladder match with the possibility he could get hurt and injured. And thus, if he ends up winning, he's going to end up making that Intercontinental Championship seem more important, especially at the position he is in the company. And then, on top of that, you're going to end up having John Cena, your face of the company, the face that runs the place, one of your most controversial mixed reaction to over guys. And you're going to have him win the United States title. And thus, on that same night, you're going to have Roman Reigns probably walk out with the title, whether or not we have a cash-in or not, by Seth Rollins. You're going to have either him or Rollins walk out with that title. And in the long run, what you've done is you've made your two mid-card championships seem more important and seem more prestigious and more valuable than your freaking world title. Now, I know some people will be okay with that, and that's fine. But seriously, you're going to take two mid-card championships and make them seem more important than the World Heavyweight Championship. That's like taking the freaking UFC Middleweight Championship or the UFC Welterweight Championship and saying, guess what? This championship's more important than our UFC championship. You see, there's a reason why fans like to go over to the UFC. Because to them, the UFC treats their championships and their champions with respect. They give their champions and their championships the proper time to be talked about, built upon. Which is why, let's say, CM Punk ends up in the welterweight division. He becomes the welterweight champion. His very presence there as the welterweight champion is going to make that championship seem more important and more valuable than it already is, because the UFC is already doing that. The fact is the WWE right now is in a situation that's making this WrestleMania seem very unattractive in the eyes of a lot of fans. And it's not just, like I said in part one, it's not just because of the fact that you're not even giving it enough time to be properly built upon. It's the fact that you're in a situation where you can take your two mid-card titles. Yes, you'll finally probably put some prestige back in them and importance back in them, but guess what? In the long run, you're going to be diminishing your world championship in favor of it. See, and then on top of that, everybody's talking about Sting, Triple H, Undertaker, Wyatt. Jeff, I know you are not looking forward to Sting, Triple H, and I know Deluxe Man, you probably feel the same way. I don't blame you, but if you read online the reason Triple H and Sting are facing, and you guys probably know this, is the fact that Triple H has enough pull out there in the back that he pretty much said, Sting, I know people want you and Taker, and that's fine. I want to see it too. But to make sure you are truly set and ready to compete in the WWE, even if it's part-time, I want to test you out at Mania. I want you at Mania. And I've got the perfect storyline for it. That's the only reason. And there's another reason, too. And Jeff Schlegdaddy, you pointed this out perfectly. The reason being the fact that the WWE, Vince McMahon himself, maybe Triple H, and maybe the head brass of the board of directors, along with the two new members of Paul Levesque and Stephanie McMahon, they probably feel, you know what? WrestleMania 32 is going to be in Dallas, Texas. We're going to hopefully sell out and create a new world record of attendance. What could we do to make that happen in reality? Oh, I know. Let's do Sting and Undertaker. That's the only reason. I mean, when you think about it, Jeff, the Lex Man, this is almost like WrestleMania 27 all over again. Almost. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if we have a competition between Taker and Sting the following night on Raw. And we have a WrestleMania sign still looming in the background or something. Or we have some kind of indication that they want to fight each other at WrestleMania 32. This is why a lot of people sort of compare 27 to now. You get that same kind of feel, that same kind of feeling that we're going to get something happening the next night like that. And you know, this is another big problem the WWE has. Always setting up the WrestleManias the following year in venues that could hold more people or less people, and yet they don't realize that they should end up doing that after the WrestleMania of the very year that they're announcing it. You don't announce, oh, we're going to have WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas next year. No! You wait until after Mania, or you wait till Mania like you used to, and you make that announcement. The fact is, the WWE has no one to blame but themselves for the fans not being too overly excited. I mean, yeah, there are going to be fans excited. Don't get me wrong, it's WrestleMania season. It's like with the Super Bowl. Even if we may not like the teams being in it, depending on the destination that it's going to be at, we're still going to watch it. We're still going to enjoy it because it's the Super Bowl. It may not break attendance records, but hey, we'll watch it because we're excited about it. We want to see the Super Bowl. It's a tradition. You know, it might be two California-based teams like at 29. I don't know if you can see that. 29 was the Chargers and the Niners, and guess what? They played in Miami. Do you think a lot of fans like seeing the fact that you have the Niners and the Chargers, two California teams, meeting in South Florida? No. But guess what? People still watched it. Do you think they like the fact that a couple of years ago you had Giants and Patriots in Arizona Stadium in what was it? Where they had the Super Bowl this year? Do you think they like that? No, not really. The fact is, doesn't matter whether the opponents in the Super Bowl should face each other, whether it's all Eastern, or Western, or Midwest, whatever. Fans will still watch it. They may not look forward to it, but they'll still watch it. And that's what the WWE knows. They know fans are going to watch it anyway, no matter what. Even if they end up watching the damn replays on the network, they're going to end up watching it anyway. And why? Because it's WrestleMania. They'll watch it just to see how good or bad it became. To see if they were right of how bad it was. To see maybe if the WWE proved them wrong and it ended up being good. See, these are the situations that really, in a sense, not only help the WWE, but it hurts them. It's kind of a black and white kind of thing. It's kind of strange. But Overall, the fact is this. The reason people are not excited about this is not just the matches, it's the build-up. It doesn't have enough time. It doesn't have that traditional whole month off before you get to Mania. No. It just doesn't feel like it's going to be a good... It just doesn't feel in the eyes of a lot of people that it's going to be worthy of WrestleMania. It's going to probably go down as one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. And the matchups, like I said earlier, I know some fans are not looking forward to Sting and Triple H, but Triple H, like I mentioned earlier, has the pull. He's going to pull to say, hey, I want to be the first. Then we could do Sting and Taker, because from a business standpoint, that's going to sell out that Texas stadium, or that AT&T stadium. Okay, fine. But like you said, Schleg Daddy, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. And that's going to probably backfire on him. And then to top that all off, speaking of Taker, you want to put him in the match with Bray Wyatt. Now, I know a lot of fans are looking forward to that because according to, and I'll show you it, it's right here on page 91, according to Mania Dreams, it is one of the dream matches fans want to see. So yeah, you want to get this match out of the way? Fine, because what? It's a dream match? Just like Sting and Triple H is a dream match? No. Sting Undertaker is the dream match. That's Sting Triple H. But again, that's WWE logic for you. It's WWE logic. And then on top of that, you have, like I said, the ladder match, which is pretty much, if it's won by Daniel Bryan, it's going to make the Intercontinental Championship end up being more important than the world title. And at the same time, you have Cena and Rusev with the possibility that Cena could win the championship there, unless they surprise us and swerve us. And that's going to make that championship seem more important than the world title. And then, of course, you have Rollins and Orton, and the way they're building to that's ridiculous in the eyes of some. You're probably going to end up having a 6-person tag match for the tag titles, in which if one of the divas gets pinned, that's how the titles remain or change hands. Just crazy, you know? And then instead of doing Goldust and Stardust one-on-one, which they could probably still do, because that's what fans want to see, no. Instead, they're going to put Goldust and Stardust in the Intercontinental ladder match. Why? Because they don't want to give the fans what they want. No. To me, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you got Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. There's a lot of people like you, Jeff, and you, Alex, who have both agreed. You're going to allow someone like the Ultimate Part-Timer and Brock Lesnar, someone you wanted to put the championship on. And let me tell you people why they put the championship on Brock. Because they felt, hey, if he made the UFC world title seem important and prestigious, if we put our title on him, it'll make it even more prestigious and important. Yeah, right. See, there's a difference between UFC and WWE. UFC has many more divisions. They have a lot of championships they could defend, even if Brock's not there. They have championships they could defend that mean, like I mentioned earlier, mean just as much, if not equally as much, as their world title. Because they give it meaning, they give it time. They make them important. WWE, all WWE tried to do here was basically how do I put this? All WWE did when they put the title on Brock was try to capitalize on the success that Brock had with the UFC title. This ain't UFC, WWE. You're not UFC. Get over it. Now, I'm not against Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar fighting each other for the belt. I'm not. But the thing is, you don't know if Brock's even going to be there with his situation backstage with Vince McMahon. I mean, what if Brock... This is what I'm afraid is going to happen. Here's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Brock's going to walk out there all set and ready to fight. Bell rings. Brock's going to do what Jeff Jarrett did. Lie down. And basically forfeit or hand the championship over to Roman Reigns. And then you're going to have to bring Rollins out to face Reigns. Or even on top of that, as crazy as it sounds, you'll have to bring out freaking John Cena. Or even Daniel Bryan to face Reigns for the belt. Because if what's going on behind the scenes is any truth to it, if there's any truth to that and any legitimacy to it, then that's, I'm afraid, what's going to happen. And if that does happen, I don't know what they're going to do with the cash-in. Whether they're still going to follow through on that or not. Because whether or not that does happen, or we do have an actual match between the two and Rollins cashes in, the WWE better not screw that up either. Because fans are looking forward to that. Fans are hoping for that. You don't save it. In this case, you're not... Okay. In this case, you don't save it for Monday Night Raw unless Lesnar is going to retain. No. You do it that very night. You make history. You make history. But you know what's even more disappointing? And I think a lot of fans listening to this, and even you guys will, you Jeff and you Alex, will admit to this. The WWE has been known to change the horses, if you know what I mean. Even when it comes to match booking and match scheduling. Match card setup and scheduling. And you know what I'm afraid of? The WWE World title does deserve to be the final championship defended for the night, and it does deserve to be in the last match of the night. But I think what's going to happen, this is what I'm afraid of, WWE is going to, the officials, the backstage people, all that, they're going to realize, you know what? What everybody's been saying about this match is true. It's going to stink up the joint. It's going to be ugly. So this is what I'm afraid is going to happen. They're going to put that match for the WWE World title, the third to second last match on the card, the third to last or second to last match on the card. And you're going to either have Sting and Triple H as the main event, the final match of the night, which would make sense because it's Sting's first WWE in-ring, in-ring action that he's going to have, and it's history in the making there. Or you're going to have Cena and Rusev close the show. That's right. Unless WWE comes up with a way to really assure people that they're going to go home happy or at least satisfied, that not only does Brock or Reigns not walk out with the championship, but Rollins does. They better come up with a good situation in making that happen. Because if not, if they decide, you know what, we're just going to have Reigns win the belt or Lesnar retain and then wait till Monday for Rollins to cash in, they better have a good alternative closing match. And it either it's going to be Sting and Triple H or it's going to be Cena and Rusev. And overall, folks, Jeff Siegel, Alex, Sleg Daddy Deluxe Man, this is why a lot of people, as you put it, Jeff, are not excited about WrestleMania. It's because of stuff like this. Stuff that I've mentioned in these two videos. And you know what? You guys can agree with it or not, but it's what I believe. It's what I believe. And again, unless the WWE decides to go for it and allow Seth Rollins to cash in and become champion at the end of Mania, unless they can come up with that situation, or even a situation to where Lesnar retains, all I can say is I see this match being the third to last match or second to last match on the card, either Sting and Triple H main eventing and closing out the show, or Cena Rusev closing out the show. That's what I see. I hate to say it. As far as the Divas go, I think we're going to have ourselves a tag team Give Divas a Chance match, Lumberjill style. And I think the stipulation is going to be that if AJ and Paige win, the Divas are going to get equal opportunity in the ring, time-wise for matches and promos, pay-wise as well as maybe even get to participate in matches that are normally reserved for superstars like Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, maybe even the freaking Rumble. So, that's all I have to say in response to your video, Jeff. And to Lex, man, I hope you watch this. Guys, take your time in watching these. I know they're long, but it's just stuff I had to get off my chest in response. But let me know if any of you do agree. Talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.